This chair is made using no mods, and this moving platform is possible in vanilla Minecraft. And today we're going to look at the wild things 100% possible without using any mods. I'd like to introduce you all to my new pet berries. And yeah, you heard me right, I have berries as a pet. Or at least it looks like that. See, this user found out that by catching a fox and making it invisible, all that's left showing are the bushel of sweet berries in its mouth. And for that matter, I'm sure you could use this to lead around just about any of the other items that a fox can carry in its mouth. But regardless of what you use, you'll want to keep this pet away from your chicken coop, or else. Now, how do you think these carpets are floating? I'll give you a hint, it's not string, but instead, this user found out that you can use glow lichen to do the trick. And with their design, we can shed some light on the build and maintain its style without using ugly support blocks. And hey, this might just offer an extra bit of subtle spawn proofing as well. So whether you stop at the patio umbrella or use this for another kind of magic carpet contraption, it's well worth a shot. We've all seen flying machines, but what about flying platforms? Well, as crazy as it looks, it's actually all capable through specific commands. And better yet, we can even deactivate and reactivate the platform upon command, making room for some new ideas such as a target range trick of the move, which would be quite the challenge for your next Minecraft parkour map. So if you've got the time to set up the command blocks, at least this is all possible without downloading Mod Loader. Let me introduce you to the water lotus. Now, unlike the lily pads that we're used to, this fan-made flower is a lot more vibrant for the swamps that we've got. And if you're looking to have one of your own, start by placing a warp trap door below a lily pad. And then with that base, you can now place an item frame with a honeycomb block inside of it. And after that, be sure to have topped it off with a brain coral fan, and you'll have definitely achieved the desired look. Do not open this barrel, because even if it seems innocent, it's rigged to blow up with a bunch of TNT minecarts like so. And with an observer underneath the block of your choice, we can make any seemingly safe block into a death trap, and then cover it up and watch from a safe distance as your unsuspecting friend interacts with a live explosive. Just don't leave them too traumatized, because they might just end up returning the favor. While Mojang waits until the 1.19 wild update to add in their chest boats, the community has a way to make one of our own right now. As Mysticat found, we can use the summon command to place a chest minecart into the back seat of your boat, and sure enough, we can place our stuff in it just the same. Which, I'll be honest, is a lot better than just looking at yet another pack mule as a passenger. Instead of moving your stuff with hoppers, we're using conveyor belts instead, since with a system of pistons and honey blocks, you can move uncollected items on the floor from one place to another, just as a modded conveyor belt would. And if you want to get really creative, throw on some raw fish and have a brand new sushi bar to impress your friends. This item does not exist in Minecraft. So, how is it here in vanilla? Well, by utilizing invisible item frames and a transparent map art, you can decorate your house and get an amazing effect. Though, to get that transparent map art, you are going to need to head out to the void and make your pixel art there, since that's the only way that we're going to be able to get no background on the PNG. And that'll allow us to make anything from plates on the dinner table, or even signs to scare off our enemies. We can't normally place carpets on slabs, but this seems to do the trick. And the answer here is beds, but not like this, since by using the command bar, you can spawn in a lower half of a bed like so. And although that new bed is a little glossy looking, you'll see that any differences are virtually unnoticeable from afar. And with some slabs nearby to hide the wooden legs of the bed, it'll look even more convincing. Lettuce is one of the lesser known crops in Minecraft, probably because it doesn't exist. But maybe with these creeper heads in your garden, you might be convinced it does. From the right angle, these creeper heads give off the illusion that you have fresh lettuce growing in your yard, which should be enough to convince your friends from a first glance. And while that face out the back might be a dead giveaway, from the right position, this should do the trick from far away. Here's why you need to start bringing moss down into the mines. See, when placed next to stone and then given bone meal, the moss replaces all the surrounding blocks except for any precious ores such as diamond and iron. And that'll mean no more wasting your fortune pickaxe on the branch mining chores, since instead, the hoe can clean up just fine. And really, I'd much rather waste a stone hoe than my diamond pickaxe trying to find these things. And if we're spending less to make more, then I'm all in. Waterfalls used to look like this, but now they look like this. And the reason for that makeover is the particle effects command. See, this user was creative enough to use a command block to create exploding particles to resemble crashing water. And while the gray in the clouds might not be as convincing up close, for a vanilla alternative to Dr. Rat's mod, I'd say this is worth paying attention to if you make creative maps. A gas turret certainly has a nice ring to it, and as you can see from this user's design, it's a lot of fun too. Now, in order to create this homemade design, you're going to need to bring a ghast into the overworld. Then, after you trap that new ghast, we can flip a lever to move a piece of its trap wall up and down like so, and that'll let us choose how and when the ghast shoots a fireball. From there, we just need a mash click to punch it in the right direction, and we'll have ourselves an open invitation to wreak havoc on your friends. Placing blocks on slabs sounds like a pipe dream, so why does this work? Well, if you use the summon command to get yourself a falling block, you can make sure it lands right where you want it to be. And then, after typing the command to summon it into place, you'll have a permanent addition to your slab or stair shelf, which beats the alternative of it floating, just saying. Now, this wolf's tail is spinning, but why? Well, to answer that, we first need to know that a tamed wolf's tail is linked to its health. So the lower its health, the lower the tail. And conversely, if we use commands to make it have a higher health, yeah, the tail starts spinning. So if you were to use the effect commands to give the dog both health boost and regeneration, we could watch its tail spin in real time. Just don't get dizzy when you try to watch it. Stop building your minecart tracks like this, because instead, we should be building them like this. Now, I know, conventional wisdom says a straight line is the fastest way from point A to point B, but much like a Brachistochrone, these curves let us build up some serious speed. I mean, this method can go faster than fully powered rails. That's just insane. And while it might take a minute to figure out how to build this whole mess, after seeing this kind of speed, it's definitely worth the trouble. Have you ever used a tractor to farm sugarcane? Well, here's your chance. See, by using this user's model, we get something like the Create mod in our vanilla world. And by combining a network of pistons and hopper minecarts with honey blocks like so, this flying contraption can harvest and collect all of the sugarcane that it flies through. And better yet, we can even ride it if we hop in the minecart like so. Just make sure you have this return system on the other end. Otherwise, we'll fly off well past your sugarcane. According to Mojang, we're never going to see chairs in the base game, but this seems to do the trick. And the secret here is an invisible llama. See, given the L-like shape of the llama's neck and body, we can make a pretty convincing armchair to match them up. And if you're worried about the glitchy llama coming out of the side of the chair, it's nothing an invisibility potion and some banners can't fix. So if you're trying to gather the knights at your round table, this is a lot more convincing than crouching on a stair. Minecraft doesn't have guns, and thankfully so, might I add. But with this contraption, you can sure make it look like it does. After making an empty square in the base of the blocks, all we need to do is trap a zombie or husk in a minecart, name a dinner bone, and they'll be stuck with their legs in the air. Which, if we use pistons to push blocks to top it all off, we'll have earned ourselves a self-seeking turret design. And hey, if you were to use an Enderman, those long legs that it has would be sure to look like some kind of anti-aircraft defense system, and that should be plenty intimidating to any visitors. If you were to fall on this carpet, you wouldn't take any fall damage, but this one over here would break your legs just the same. So, what's the difference? Well, by using powdered snow, you can fall from a great height and take no damage when you land, and that even happens when you have a carpet on top, meaning we can make whatever kind of pixel art design we want, and feel free to look at it while we're falling down. After all, it's not going to hurt when we land. Why are these armor stands fighting? Well, when you have these statues roll over a detector rail, we can animate them like so, which means that we can use our very own armor stands to recreate something of a sword fight. And then, if you have the rails aligned in a row like so, we can throw them into minecarts and have the show commence, which, if you ask me, could really help to liven up your next Coliseum build. Just don't expect their fight to end anytime soon, much like our fight against Fortnite. If you haven't heard, we're at war with Fortnite to prove that the Minecraft community is the strongest there is. And that's why over 200,000 Minecraft fans have subscribed in the last 30 days. We're just that powerful. So if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so we can finally pass the official Fortnite channel and become the strongest game on YouTube. Did you know that you could do this with bubble streams? Because apparently, if you throw eggs directly at the water, those projectiles will ricochet and bounce along the bubbles. And functionally, this is a lot like an ender pearl stasis chamber, but we're just using a lot more momentum when we throw it out. Which means if you make a couple of baskets, you might be able to set this up for your very own basketball game. And hey, since it works with other entities, with the right amount of force, this could be the wild addition for your next TNT cannon. With this one-way glass, we can see in, and the criminals can't see out. Let me explain. Without using any mods, all we need are some tinted glass blocks to help us get the effect. And if you place a wall of tinted glass on a build like so, all we need to do is make sure that one side has enough light and the other one is completely dark. That way, when you stand on one side of the glass, you're only going to see that darkness, while on the other, you can see perfectly through as planned. And with that, folks, have a good one. Alright?